So, forming up for race 2 from the first round of the second season of the F3 Cup, the 5th championship of Missed Apex iRacing here at Interlagos. Danny Henney, the victor in race 1, but it will be Colin Ward in that Rothmans Williams liveried number 92 car on pole position for this one, alongside the pale blue number 77 of Nicholas Carladal, the chrome green of Richard Molden on the second row of the grid, alongside the silver and blue of John Cox, Kyle Power, that familiar bright green Venom Works car in 5th place ahead of John Langan, Lucas Raskovitz, black and gold JPS player special for him in 7th place, then Alex Van Gien, Colton Myers and Barry Kemp. That is your top 10 for this reverse grid race. And away they go for race 2 at Interlagos, and it looks like Carladal may well have got the jump on Ward there. He held the inside line down towards turn 1, but Ward brakes very, very late, goes around the outside and is able to hang on to the lead. Molden doing a good job of just holding that 3rd place spot as Kyle Power makes his way into 4th place and is going to line up a move on Molden down the Retro Aposta and down towards turn 4. Meanwhile, Carladal making a move for the lead of the race down the outside towards turn 4. Ward brakes calmly and firmly down towards turn 4 and hangs on to the position as Kyle Power makes his way into 3rd place, and John Cox looking to take advantage of that as well around the outside of Ferragura.
He did. It was relatively clean further back. Danny Henney making a good start, taking a couple of places, but he is now side by side with his rival from the first race with Boomsma and actually Dobbelsberger as well. So they're both making good progress through.
Alex Van Gien getting stuck in there in 6th place down the back of Molden and Cox's battle. He's got John Langan for close companies. He's looking towards the inside of Molden down Magulio. Sit behind him here into Zhongshao and try and get the launch out of the corner and down the straight. So here comes Colin Ward around those final couple of corners. He's got Carladal in close proximity, but he will lead as they go across the stripe for the first time. Nothing in it between Carladal and Power.
Crucially, Chris, Boomsma got a little bit of air on the back of one of the other cars, and he has probably got some quite significant front end damage. That is Brian Boomsma, car number 23. So that was going to hamper his progress through the field. Straight
on at turn 1 went Alex Van Gien, and is hemorrhaging places at the moment, but it's about to be 3 wide for the lead of the race as Ward's under big pressure from Carladal. Power on the outside as well. Ward's just able to hang this one out, and Power's the one who actually takes advantage as Carladal was sort of pinned up on the apex there. Is he just able to get alongside and maybe get up the inside into Ferragura? He's kind of boxed in there by Ward. Oh, he makes contact with Carladal. Flies off the circuit, does the number 77 car. And I think Power may well have some damage from that as he's slowing up. Critical error there maybe from Kyle Power. It was Carladal on the outside. We don't see incidents like that from Kyle Power, and he's lost touch a little bit there with Ward. About 0.8 of a second. He's got to regain his composure and try and gather this one up, because he's still got a great chance of victory here.
He does, as you were saying, Chris, the evening wears on and you start to get a few more incidents. There's been a couple, as you say, Van Gien and Power both involved in crashes there. That's unlike them. They're usually very clean races.
So Danny Henney in 8th place as they go across the line. He's on the back now of Richard Spanners Ready, who's going around the outside of Colton Myers down towards turn 1. Little lock up as he tries to take the place. He's gone a little bit too deep, and that allows Myers to go back through, and for Henney to try and sneak through around Curva de Sol. So that's Henney up into 7th place. Now, this is a stellar drive so far, as we see one of his nearest rivals as well, Tim Ellis, in 10th place there, battling with Alex Johnsma just behind them. So they've also made good progress through the field.
He did, and Henney now on the outside of Myers. He's going to take that position relatively simply. Spanners had to check up just behind him, see if he can make a lunge into the middle section.
Oh, for the lead of the race, Power has made his way through on Colin Ward. So I think down towards Ferradura, and into turn 8 he was able to make that move, but Kyle Power has made it to the front of the field. Now I dare say that Mr. Philpott up in the steward's room is going to be looking at that incident with Power and Carladal, and there could well be a penalty coming Power's way. So if he does get himself a time penalty, we saw 5-second penalties being handed out in race 1, which means he's got to get on it, and on it fast, if he wants to retain this victory. So Ward's still second for now. John Cox in third place. Look at Stephen Williams. He's romped up the order and is already on the back of this leading quartet. Oh, very deep into turn 1 went John Cox there, and wide on the exit as well was Colin Ward. Very scruffy couple of corners from these drivers, and that's an open invitation for Stephen Williams here down the Retroposta, tucked right up in the slipstream of Cox's car. And Ward going very slowly on the inside as well, because he was not very quick out of turn 3. Williams goes around the outside of Cox down at the Skido de Largo, and he puts himself up into the podium placings. Could he put himself into second place here in as many corners? Trying to go around the outside of Ferradura, no way through for Williams on that one, but surely it's a matter of time before that Aston Martin car makes his way into second place. Ward very wide out of turn 8 as he was locking up, and Williams had to check up in the heart of Pinarino.
Every moment that he doesn't get past Kyle Power is edging away. He's definitely 2 seconds ahead now, so he's got to make this move stick quickly if he's going to try and battle for this victory, because every moment that passes, Power is pulling away. But
let's not forget that Power could well have a time penalty coming his way, so it's all about keeping within that crucial 5-second window, I think. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on the timings for that one as they come up towards turn 1. Once again, it's Ward very defensive down towards the first corner. Oh, a beautiful switchback from Williams. That was Schumacher-esque right there, but he didn't quite make it through. And Ward, oh my goodness, he was squeezed up onto the curb there at the Curva de Sol. I did not think there was space there for Williams, but he managed to find it, and he's surely going to claim second place now, as Danny Henney behind them is going to make his move on John Cox into fourth place as well.
Yeah, that was a crucial move there. As you say, Kyle Power's pulled out an extra second ahead. Williams now really has to put the legs on, because, as you said, Henney is making his way through.
Yeah, absolutely. So he'll be onto the podium placings before you know it, as Ward, no disrespect, but there Henney goes already down the inside, and he's put himself up into third place already. So a remarkable opening few laps to this race for Danny Henney. The question is going to be how much further. Oh no! Ward's been spun out there by John Cox. That looked like a bit of an Albon Hamilton manoeuvre there as he was looking towards the inside of Pico de Pato. And that did not pull off, unfortunately. So he's still in that fourth place spot with a queue of cars behind him. Molden, Myers, Spanners, Boomsma, Drillsma and Ellis all waiting in the wings to get through here.
Chris, I have an update from race control from Bradley Philpott himself. He has not been informed of any incident with Kyle Power, so currently that victory is still standing.
Okay, well, that's interesting news. I'm a little surprised by that, because I'd have thought someone would have been on the radio about that one. Look at this freight train of cars coming around turn 3, all squabbling over this fourth place spot at the moment. So Myers was the one on the move down at turn 1, and it's Boomsma who is just leading Drillsma there in 6th place, ahead of Spanners and Molden and Ellis. And as they head up towards Ferradura once again, it's a little bit follow the leader through here. This lot, they've just about lost touch with Cox and Myers, but I've no doubt that that gap will close up just as quickly as it opened up. Just keep an eye on the gap between Williams and Henney as well, as it's hovering around. Oh no! We just lost Myers from that battle pack. Dropped it out of Bigo de Pato, unfortunately, and that has held up Alex Drillsma crucially, as he's dropped a couple of places there. He's back behind Richard Molden now in this pack. And Spanners, meanwhile, in 6th place there is staring down the back of Boomsma's car, and actually looks like he's going to make a move down towards turn 1. He's on the outside line, coming up towards the center S. Boomsma with the inside line, retains. Oh, very deep though on the brakes as he locked up, but just about hangs on to the place. Spanners will have another run down the Retroposta though. And Boomsma will probably have to go defensive down towards turn 4. And indeed he does. Spanners still following in the slipstream, but no attack from Spanners on that particular occasion.
Going back up the field to the number 93, Danny Henny. He is all over the back of Williams, and he didn't quite get it done into turn 1, but through this middle sector, he's going to try and find a way through.
He's certainly looking very racy at the moment. Almost had his nose up the inside into Ferragura, but I think that would have ended in tears for both of them. So Power's advantage 2.5 seconds. Now they have brought that gap down slightly. It was 3 seconds at one point. Well, we are running a little bit out of laps as we've got 5 to go after this one. So I wouldn't expect them to be able to close it down, especially if they start squabbling here. But out of Zhongsha we come. And Henny tucked right up in that slipstream once again. It's been a remarkable first few laps for Henny so far to get himself into the podium placings. And he's not finished yet as he's looking at second place on Stephen Williams. So Williams goes defensive and he's going to be forced a long way around. He brakes very, very late. Can he get it in and stops? Yes, he can. Very nicely done around the outside, but he's got to be careful here because Williams will have the slipstream back down the Retroposta and he'll have to go defensive down towards turn 4 as Williams looks to retake that second place spot. Down towards the Skido de Lago. Henny forces Williams to the outside and there's nothing Williams can do about that.
That was a masterful overtake there from Henny, just leaving his braking a little bit later on the outside of turn 1, allowing him to have the inside line for turn 2, and that was pretty much move done. So yes, it is 2.5 seconds to Kyle Power. That gap has stayed the same. I don't think that's quite enough, even though we only have 4 laps remaining. I think Henny might well be able to get on the back, probably in the last lap. According to AWS, I think the ease of overtake is probably going to be fairly hard though, because Kyle is a good defender.
He is indeed. We'll see the sector times. He was 0.4 of a second quicker on that previous lap, despite being behind Williams. So we'll see what they can do on this lap. Meanwhile, Drilsma has worked his way up into 4th place. Spanners in 5th there. He's got Tim Ellis for close company. So the meat and the sandwich here. Definitely doing a great job to keep up with these front runners. But I think Tim Ellis, the man who led the championship for most of last season, is about to mount an attack. And there he goes, down towards turn 1 with the inside line. And that is 5th place for Tim Ellis.
That's a good exit though. He's gonna try and hustle him back down into turn 4. He's gonna go to the outside because Ellis very early defends that down the Retroposta.
Yeah, he's not finished yet, but Ellis will have the line towards turn 4. Spanner's going to try and brave this one out around the outside. He is indeed. Now, what kind of exit can he get? Because if he can hold this out around the outside, he may have the line into Ferragura. Back up the hill we go. And Spanner's with the line, but Ellis just braves it out. And it's going to come down to the braking at this turn 8 here. Ellis once again able to just carry the speed around the outside, and now the line swings his way and he's able to just push Spanners out wide a little bit. All Spanners having the Albon look up the inside though, and it didn't pay off for him just there, but certainly he's not finished in this battle for 5th place here.
He's not, because you've got to be within 5 tenths usually down this back straight, and he was only 4 tenths behind, so he might well be sucked down that back straight and be able to mount a move into turn 1.
Yep, caught right up in that slipstream. Don't think he's going to be close enough to have a run down into turn 1. Certainly enough to keep Ellis thinking about it. And he'll definitely be close enough for a run down towards turn 4, perhaps. Now, just to draw your attention to the timing screen for a second, Henny was half a second quicker than Power on that previous lap. He set his fastest lap of the race, a 26.8. The gap is down to 1.9 seconds with 2.5 laps to go. This could come down to the final few tenths in the final couple of corners here, Chris.
It could absolutely, but there's also a fantastic battle between the number 64 Kronberg, Raskovitz and McBride for 7th, 8th and 9th place. They were side by side, all three of them pretty much down the Retroposta, and they're holding up a massive queue of cars, including David Hatton, so this is getting tasty for the final points paying positions.
Yeah, Brian Boomsma right up in there as well in 11th place as Van Kronenberg leads them down Magulio.
They take a very wide line into that final corner, Chris, and even though it's a little bit slippery out there, that does seem to be the fastest way to get a slingshot down this back straight.
Absolutely, no track limits being monitored there. And as we see, Spanner still pressuring Ellis for 5th place, but this battle for 7th is really hotting up as Raskovitz goes around the outside down towards the first corner. Can he brave it out around there? Van Kronenberg has to leave him some space. Alex McBride getting right up in there as well as he's dancing around the outside of turn 3. Here comes David Hatton as well. Fantastic racing between these guys. Van Kronenberg is glued to the inside there as Raskovitz once again tries to go to the outside and take that 7th place spot. He's shown the curb. They'll have to go the long way round, and this is Hatton's opportunity. He's just picked off McBride. Can he get past Raskovitz as well? It's going to be a brave one around the outside. Around the outside he continues to go, and finally with the inside line for Pinarino, he's just about able to make that move stick. So that's 2 places gained there for Hatton in half a lap.
It is, and McBride
makes with a dive.
Yeah, he makes a lunge on Raskovitz, the Albon move, as you were saying, Chris, and I think he's not quite made it stick because Raskovitz sticks his nose back in again. Well,
side by side through Magulio is a brave one indeed, and they're still will to will as they head through Zhengshao, and it's going to be side by side between these guys all the way down the straight, I think, as Barry Kemp looks to get involved in that as well in the Golf coloured car.
He needs to tuck in underneath because the slipstream is so powerful down here. Raskovitz to the outside.
So there's the white flag being shown for these guys as they start their final lap. It's McBride to the inside. And Raskovitz once again going the long way round and cannot get through. Oh, now Spanners is much closer in 6th place to the back of Tim Ellis's car. Now almost looked like he was going to drop it as he was switching one way and then the other. And Ellis has really slowed up on the exit there. And Spanners has gone through. Ellis has he made a mistake, but he's gone out wide, and Spanners is through into 5th place.
Yeah, that was fantastic pressure from Spanners there. Ellis had to go defensive and then just locked up under braking, slid slightly wide, and then Spanners just switched back and got back up. So that is a fantastic move there for 5th place.
Up at the front of the field, Kyle Power has exited the final corner on this last lap. He's got a safety net 1 second over Danny Henney, and after a wretched race one for Kyle Power, a bit of redemption here in this reverse grid race as Kyle Power comes through to take his first victory of the season, his 2nd in the F3 Cup, and he is back on top form with Danny Henney in 2nd place. A remarkable drive there from the 20th place on the grid, and Stephen Williams completes the podium.
Yep, it was only 1 second at the end there, but I think we're joined by Kyle Power, our race winner. How was that for you, Kyle?
That was horrible. That was a lot of pressure at the end. I must say, I don't know who it was, but I think it was lap 2 or 3. We had a bit of a coming together, so I apologise for that. Unfortunately, they spanned, but yeah, that was a really tough race. I make no bones about saying that I absolutely detest this track. This is my bogey track, so to be able to wobble through to a win is really, really nice.
Yeah, and we checked in with our driver steward, Bradley Philpott, who graciously said that you weren't being investigated, so you will keep this victory.
Oh, splendid. And in that case, then, I'd like to dedicate this victory to my mother, who I know is watching. So, yeah, keep fighting, and cheers for watching.
Thank you, Kyle. Everybody does love your mother. So let's move on. So Danny came in second. Stephen Williams was third, Chris, and that was a pretty eventful race from where I was at.
Absolutely, some fantastic battles as we were seeing the guys come through the field, and wonderful racing as per usual. The mid-pack delivering as per usual, and we should see some very quick cars indeed back up at the front of the field. Now my timing screen is updating, but I do believe we have Colin Ward once again on pole position as he finished 20th. And I think Harrison has got himself in a good position as well. So while we go and figure all of that out, we're going to take a quick break. But don't go anywhere. Race 3, the final race of the night, coming up shortly.